America has long exported movies, but will it finally start importing them? You're watching Beyond the Trailers review of Instructions Not Included.
Valentín.
¿Sí?
Es tu hija.
¿Qué?
¿Tienes $10? Voy a pagar el taxi. Hold on.
Tu mamá no sería capaz de dejarte aquí, ¿no? ¿O sí? Mira, Maggie, carta de mamá.
Querida Maggie, te escribo a bordo del submarino nuclear Pancho Villa II.
Maggie tiene problemas por vivir en un mundo de fantasía.
My mom brought it for me from the moon.
¿Qué pasó realmente con la mamá de Maggie?
Se fue a pagar el taxi.
Say what you will about Adam Sandler, but he was the first to realize comedian Eugenio Derbez's stateside potential. Sandler cast the immensely popular Mexican television actor in a bit part in Jack and Jill, before giving him a recurring role in Rob Schneider's short-lived sitcom on CBS. And now, probably to everyone's surprise but Sandler's, Derbez finds himself debuting at number 4 in the US box office over the Labor Day weekend. That's astounding for a number of reasons. First, because pretty much nobody in the US knows who Derbez is. Second, because the movie is mostly in Spanish with subtitles, flying directly in the face of the common assumption that American audiences don't want to read subtitles, but more on that in a moment. And third, because Instructions Not Included only opened in about 350 theaters, beating out movies playing in over 3,000 theaters. With an eye-popping 22,000 plus per theater average, this is yet more evidence after the recent success of the Fast and Furious movies and films like End of Watch that the Latino movie-going audience has become a powerhouse. And guess what? They don't need the subtitles. As the US becomes more of a dual-language country, apparently so do our movies. In fact, it was reported that the Latino population is growing at such a fast rate here in the US that they will become the majority by 2043. Of course, the success of Instructions Not Included isn't just due to Ray's but Derbez's talent. As I said, he co-wrote and directed the film in addition to starring, and has worked hard to promote the film to his 3.2 million Twitter followers and beyond. It's also refreshing that Derbez's comedy got the chance to prove itself here in America instead of simply being remade, like the recent French-Canadian comedy Starbuck that only played in about 30 theaters stateside before being remade in English with Vince Vaughn, practically shot for shot. But while Derbez is definitely delivered with his target demographic, can he win over new fans? I have to admit, I was a Eugenio Derbez fan before seeing this movie. I first saw him in Jack and Jill, and I was like, who is this guy? He's really funny. And then I saw him again on Rob, which I really enjoyed overall as a sitcom. I think that sitcom didn't get a fair shake. It was very clever. It was something new on television, but I think because it was about a guy marrying into a Latino family and having to not only deal with classic newlywed issues, but kind of the cultural divide. And it was very well done, very well written, very well acted, including Eugenio Derbez. But I think people didn't really try it because there's like a stigma against Rob Schneider, and I think sadly, to some degree, Adam Sandler projects these days. So I was very sad when it was canceled. So I went into this movie expecting another really good light comedy like the work I'd seen Eugenio in to date. But I was really surprised that this film is surprisingly realistic and surprisingly deep. And as I thought about it after the film, it's even more realistic and deep than it appears at first glance. It has many layers to it, and the story really unfolds in an unusual manner. And several times, though, I could kind of see where it was going, but each time I was like, no way does a light comedy have the guts to go there. And every time it did, but it still was able to kind of keep its tone. And so it was a very interesting movie-going experience, and I think the way it works, it really hits you very emotionally, and it makes it very powerful. And it really sticks with you. It makes you think about it after seeing the movie. I think you could argue as to whether or not maybe Eugenio Derbez plays it too close to the vest. If maybe he should have explored it a little bit more. But then would it have given it away? I don't know. I still haven't decided. But I think that it's good the way it is. I think that even though you could debate whether or not he should have maybe not saved everything until the end, the way it did work. I'm still thinking about it. It's still rattling around in my head, and that's good filmmaking. And so all of this is to, of course, Eugenio Derbez's credit. He does a really good job crafting this story. It's funny. It is funny. It is so that's what's weird. It's a light comedy that's really, really sophisticated. I guess that's how I would describe it. And so he does a wonderful job co-writing it, directing it, acting. His acting was great. But so was everyone. I mean, this movie was really well cast. I mean, the little girl who plays his daughter was an excellent actress, and even the baby This was like the best baby actor I've ever seen. There's this one shot in the film where the baby wakes up in a place that it doesn't expect, and the look on this baby's face, I will never forget it. This baby had like an adult reaction. It was hilarious. It was really good. And, you know, the actress who played Maggie's mom was excellent. Everyone did a really nice job. Also, I have to say, what a despicable character was Maggie's mom. I don't want to give anything away, but she was just truly horrible. But I liked it because some people, women included, are horrible. And that was one of the realistic aspects of the film. But I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that I saw it, and I think that everyone should see it. Not only because it's a great story, but as an American audience member, I really enjoyed getting a different cultural perspective on, I think, universal themes. Because so often, because we don't import a lot of movies here, I think we get a very, we're always stuck in our America bubble. And it was great to kind of burst that and see a story that I think transitioned beautifully. It was not hard to watch, even though it was in Spanish. And I would also add that it's about 40% English. But even so, I've never had a problem reading subtitles, and I didn't have a problem here. So I think that even if you're somebody who doesn't love subtitles, give it a shot. I think that, if you watch a couple films with subtitles, you'll get used to it and you'll really broaden your horizons. So kudos to Eugenio Derbez. I can't wait to see what he does next. I hope that someone picks him up here for a U.S. film. I hope he continues to make films. And I hope that we can start to see more and more foreign films come out like this into U.S. theaters on a large scale or a larger scale so that more people can see them. All right, so that's my review of Instructions Not Included. If you've seen the film, share your own thoughts down below. And it is expanding wider this weekend and probably maybe to a theater near you. So I would keep an eye out for it. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.